Hi everybody, welcome to my place. It's autumn harvest time and I've had a request from Irina and she wants to know what to do with her late autumn harvest apples. Now I've been to my tree and I have gathered some. These here are cooking apples and they are the biggest apples I have seen, and I just want you to know that, where's this one, where's that one, oh it's fallen off, but like look at this. Look at this. That little branch there has had to hold up that huge, big, great, ginormous thing. Now, the difference between eating apples and cooking apples is to be investigated. Now, these here, the codling moth got into them, but don't worry about that. But I just want you to know that you can tell it's a cooking apple because it's extremely bitter and it's very sour. But it will be great for what we're going to do today. Now, you need this is the recipe, and what I've done is I've pretty much scaled the whole thing down. So I've got here a kg of cooking apples, I'll put the recipe up, 3 chopped onions, 2 crushed cloves of garlic, some grated ginger, handful of raisins, 1.5 cups of sugar, vinegar to cover, and then a teaspoon each of mixed spice, cayenne pepper, salt, and a bit of pepper if you wanted it, but you don't need the pepper because we're actually going to put cayenne pepper into it. Now, you need a kg, and everything that I've done here is sort of kind of thereabouts. Now, just cut all of it. The thing about windfall is, it means windfall, they've fallen, they might have a few bugs in them, they might not be as healthy looking as you want, but you know what, that just doesn't matter. And I always have my compost bin here, or my bin that goes into my compost. My nan used to make this recipe and she used to cut all the skins off, but all I do is take out all the bad bits and then that'll do. But look at the size of this, isn't that great? And where it's been so close to the tree trunk or the branch, it's sort of got a little messy bit on it, but if you give it a wee wipe, if you're in any way in doubt, just give it a wipe. So these all have to be cut, so I'll just turn you off for a minute while I do this boring job and I'll come back and I'll show you how it all goes together in a moment. Okay, so there is just over a kg of apples, and if you don't have cooking apples, it doesn't matter, just any kind of an apple will do, like a Granny Smith apple or something that's tart's quite great. Okay, these here just get thrown into there, just give them a rough chop, and the difference between a relish and a chutney is a relish is much finer and saucier, and a chutney is much thicker, and I prefer a chutney as opposed to a relish because I feel that you get more bite in it. So they all get chucked into there. Now, as I said, you need 3 onions about that size. Doesn't matter whether they're white, green or red, just throw those into there, and you'll notice I cut them before we started because I really don't like to be seen crying unnecessary. The other thing was, as I said, 2 cloves or 3 cloves of garlic, whatever you've got. If you've only got the stuff in the jar that's already done, just use the equivalent of that. And then that was about 2 inches of ginger that I just grated up. And then I did take the skins off, but normally I don't even bother doing that either, so it doesn't matter. A handful of dates or currants or raisins or whatever you've got, just a handful of those can go into there. Oh, that's more than a handful. Oops, never mind, that'll do. And then into that I'm going to put, now I'm putting mustard into it because I like it. So that's a teaspoon of mustard, a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. If you want it hotter, you can add more, just depends. If you don't have any of these spices, you might have something else. Just get into your cupboard and see what you've got and just use it and just experiment because it all is going to come out tasting delicious anyway. And I do like a bit of mixed spice because if that's all you've got in your cupboard, this is fantastic stuff because somebody's taken the trouble of mincing it all up for us, or grating it up. So I'm actually putting a wee bit more into that. Then it's a teaspoon or so of salt. Put that into there. Yeah, that'll do. A bit of that. And then the next thing is, oh, hold on, I almost forgot. 1.5 cups of sugar. Any kind of sugar. Oh, I knew there was a measurer somewhere, so that'll do there. So that's about a cup and a half of sugar. You can take it back if you want to. Then cover this with vinegar. Any kind of vinegar will do. If you haven't got brown vinegar, use apple cider. You could use white vinegar or pickling vinegar if you wanted, but this will do for now. Just pour that into there. And then, where's my spoon? This is the spoon that I have on deck all the time for making pickles. So just give that a good stir. And let me just get rid of all of this so that you can see. My kitchen's going to smell delicious very soon. Okay, so that's what it all looks like in there. And what will happen is, as it cooks down, the juices, well, what juices are in the apple will just be extracted out into they'll just all mush away. And that goes onto the stove top. Bring it to the boil and then take it down to a simmer. Stir it occasionally for about 45 to 50 minutes, might take longer. And you do need to stir it occasionally, and it does need to be on a simmer, because if you have it boiling, what will happen is it will boil away really quickly and it will do something called stick. And then sticking will equate to burning. So you have to keep moving it around all the time. Righto, so I'm going to put that onto the stove now, and I'll be back in 45 to 50 minutes to show you what it looks like. And then we can do the good bit, which is putting it into the jars and dressing and decorating the jars. I will see you soon. Oops, I almost forgot. While that is gently coming to the boil to gently simmer, you need to get into your sink and get your jars and give your jars a good wash and a good sterilize. And to sterilize, what I do is, once they've been cleaned, I get the jug on, boil the jug, put hot water into that, get another dish and put your lids into it, put boiling water into a bowl with the lids in it, and leave it. And I'll be back in a minute. I'll be back soon to show you how you go from here on in. I'm back. 45 minutes later, I've folded the washing, I've made him his lunch, and I've put the washing away in between, whizzing back downstairs to stir our chutney. Now look at that. See that there? That is exactly what we wanted, and when it goes back into the pot, it falls back into the pot with the most amazing blop, blop, blop. Perfect for what I wanted. Okay, the next thing to do is, let me just put that to one side. Now you have to be very, very good about what you do, because it's hot, this next process. My jars have been washed. They have been put into boiling water, so this is hot. The jars are boiling hot. The lids are all boiling hot and neat and clean. We are pristine, ready to go. One moment till I get everything lined up, and then we'll get into it. Jars, lids. One of these funnely things is fantastic because it's wide. So all you need to do is to put that onto there. I've got these because they are very hot. I now do, wait a minute, till I get rid of that. That can just sit there, and it's just a matter now of taking that and very gently just blopping that into there. I can't tell you how much this is going to make at this stage because I've only just invented it, but I did have a wee taste, and I want you to know that it tastes delicious. And as Jamie Oliver would say, it's got a good kick. I'm going to say it's got a good punch to it. Okay, take that right to the top. Hopefully I've got enough. And the other reason why I like to make things like this is because, see this here, that cost me $5.50 for a cup and a half of sugar, a bit of vinegar, a few bits of spices. I'm going to get 3 or probably 4 times more from what fell off the ground, and all I had to do, oh no, please, 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 whoa, that's a bit too full, whoa, 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 whoa. I might just have to address that in a moment. Fill this up. So all I had to do was go outside and apply a bit of physical exertion. Well, I did actually, because I had to climb up a tree to get what I wanted. And then I had to get the secateurs out. So it was all a bit of a timely... It was actually, it was quite nice because it was nice and warm out there this morning. Oh no, don't tell me. Hold on, wait one moment. I also I am into waste not, want not, to just get all of that out And my next little tip is going to be to take this immediately, this pot here, immediately to the sink and fill it with water now, because if you don't, you'll have a sticky mess and it will not be pleasant. The other thing I need to do before I go any further, let me just get that sterilised, is take... Oh no, you don't want to be putting too many fingers near this until you've finished, because these are supposed to be sterile, and I can only just hope that my fingers were sterile. That in the bottom there can go into there like so. I just love doing this, and I don't know how we lost the art of just spending a bit of time in the kitchen creating something with our hands and using up what's surplus to requirement. You know, I was raised under waste not, want not. Okay, next thing is put the lids on. Hot, 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 hot. And then what I like to do is to go to the hot tap and give that a nice run under there, so that anything that's sticky on the outside is removed. Hot! Anything on the outside is removed right now. Okay, so I'll be back in a moment with a clean surface, because we get to do the fun thing, and that's the labelling or making it look really, really pretty for presentation. Next process, as I said, is making them all look very beautiful. You can just leave them like that if you wanted to, but I always give things that I make away, because these are really lovely thank you gifts, and people love to receive something that you made. So what I did was, or what I have always on hand, is some stock card or stock paper. I think I picked that up for about $2 when it was on special. It's okay, but it's got some nice colours in there, and you know, I can put those to good use. Cut your paper, get a pen, write what it is. Astar's Apple and Ginger Chutney 04-2020. That goes onto there. Get a rubber band, put that onto there like that. I'm not finished with these yet, because there's more that we could do. Squishing that down. I don't care about them looking a wee bit rough. No, just double that onto there so that it stays. There is another one, and you know, there's something nice about having, oops, hold on, wait, to do that properly. I could be pleating these, but this will do. I want that big rubber band actually. Putting that onto there, and then just getting a bit of string, and then just tying that around there tightly. And there you have a beautiful little gift. Now that is the second most pleasurable thing that I've been waiting to do today. I'll just do this one too, might as well, because I've got all the time in the world, because I don't know about you, but I'm still in isolation, and I've still got 3 more weeks to go, and hopefully this virus goes away so that we can all get back to normal. But maybe our normal's never going to be the normal that we know. So maybe we're all going to have to get back to basics and start to just use the things that we find along the way. Right, now we get to the very, very best part of this, where I can taste. So give me a minute to wipe this, and I will show you how I like to enjoy my chutneys. This is the best bit. A little cracker, a little bit of cheese. I hope this is right, and I will put the recipe up if it's worth sharing. Oh yeah, Jamie Oliver would so love that. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So there you have it. How to turn apples that are lying on the ground, or last of the season's apples, turn them into some chutney. Beautiful with cheese, beautiful with cold meat, with a beautiful pie. Now, from there, if you've still got apples, which I have, oh, that relish is so good. You've got some apples? Check out my recipe for how to turn these apples into apple cider vinegar. So easy. And that's what I'm going to do now. And the arrangement that was in this has now been got rid of, because this will be the perfect vehicle for making it. Hope you enjoyed that. Erina, go forth. If you don't have all the ingredients, just mix and mingle. Sugar, sugar, doesn't matter whether it's brown sugar, maple sugar, raw sugar, white sugar. If you don't have any of the vinegars, as I said, doesn't matter. If you don't have the spices I use, there'll be something in that cupboard that will do something to enhance the flavours. Hope you've enjoyed that. I've enjoyed sharing with you, and I will see you again another day.